This Brewers-Cardinals series is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and not too far from the river. We are here at Miller Park. Roof is open. It's the finale of this four-game series between the Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And hi, everybody. We welcome you. Happy Sunday to you all. The Brewers and the Cardinals match up for the last time here at Miller Park in the regular season. And Rock, the Brewers have a chance to win a series. And I think what's in the spotlight recently for the Brew Crew is the pitching staff. This pitching staff over the last 11 games going along as well as anybody in baseball.
And the starting rotation outstanding. I mean, it took them a while to get going early in the season. Weren't able to eat up innings. Pitch counts were getting up there, but these guys have been terrific. I think you got to credit Derek Johnson a lot for maneuvering the scouting reports based on what each guy has. And Jolie Chassin has been one of the big stories so far in the rotation. With all the injuries, you would expect a little bit of disruption in that process with the starting rotation, but it has not been there. Last 11 games, 218 earned run average. Unfortunately, in that stretch, the Brewers haven't been winning a whole lot of games. The offense has to get going.
There you see our starting matchup tonight, or today. It's Luke Weaver for the Cardinals, Jolie Chassin for the Brew Crew. And with more on Chassin, we check in with Sophia Minard.
Thanks, BA. And Jolie Chassin has certainly been a leader for this team in a number of categories, leading the team with 16 starts. The team has gone 12-4 each time that he takes the mound, so he has certainly performed, and he has been so consistent. For Craig Counsell, he has applauded Chassin for not only his production and his effectiveness, but also how he continues to add wrinkles to his game. You see over his last two starts, it's been 12 1/3, the .73 earned run average, 9 strikeouts, and a .227 opponent average. We know what he brings to the table, the fastball, the slider, but he's added a split change in there as well recently. Here's what Counsell had to say about what's working for Chassin.
It's still about the fastball slider, you know, the little split change-ups, a new wrinkle. I also think his delivery has evolved a little bit, and he's gotten at some important points used his delivery to his advantage with the quick pitch and the hesitation. I think that's been something a little newer that we didn't see the first couple starts. So, you know, and then he's just kind of gotten himself in, I think, of a confident place and a little bit of a rhythm where he's kind of expecting to pitch well.
Well, the Brewers have won 2 out of 3 against the Cardinals in this series, looking to win the series here this afternoon and pull ahead in their NL Central standings. How could they do that? Brian Anderson will take a look coming up next.
Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Expecting a near sellout crowd today on a beautiful Sunday in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And believe it or not, it's the last game of the year, in the regular season anyway, for the St. Louis Cardinals here in Milwaukee. The Brewers right now are currently 7-5 against the Cardinals. They are 17-17 against the Central Division. You got to play better than 500 against your own division to have a chance, and the Brewers have given themselves that chance. Let's see if they can win the series. Brew Crew trying to take 3 out of 4 from the Redbirds. It's the series finale. It's coming your way next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And there she goes. The swing, a liner caught by Aguilar, the big man. High drive, and it's a triple for Thane. That is back, and this game is tied. And Aguilar in the right field, a home run to win it. The homestand continues, and the Brewers trying to make it a winning series against the St. Louis Cardinals. They give the ball to Jhoulys Chacín. He toes the rubber on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. 72 degrees, picture-perfect baseball weather. The Cardinals are here for the final time in 2018 in the regular season anyway. Mike Matheny, year number 7 as the Cardinal manager. First 4 years the Cardinals made it into the postseason with Matheny as skipper. Matt Carpenter ready to lead off for St. Louis. Check a look at the Cardinal batting order, courtesy of Potawatomi. Carpenter, Garcia, and Jose Martinez at the top of the batting order. And then it is Ozuna, Molina, and Fowler. Bader, Wong, and Weaver round out the starting 9 for Matheny's Redbirds here today. And Jhoulys Chacín, he has been the most consistent starter the Brewers have had from day one, and he will get the ball for the 17th time here today, Rock.
Yeah, snapped a personal 6-game winning streak his last time out at Pittsburgh, although he only allowed 1 run in 6 1/3 innings. The Brewers lost that game 1-0 to the Pirates, making career start number 8 against St. Louis. Currently 0-6, looking for his first ever career win against St. Louis is Chassin. Let's take a look at the defense behind Chassin here today for Milwaukee. Braun, Yelich, and Perez in the outfield. No Lorenzo Cain, nursing a couple of injuries. So Cain's going to sit this one out. Shaw, Garcia, Villar, and Thames from third to first. And Eric Kratz gets a start behind home plate.
Yeah, Jesus Aguilar getting the day off as well. The Brewers will have a team day off tomorrow. So a couple of guys who could use maybe 2 days in a row, and Aguilar and Cain. Mike Winters, Mike McClinsky, Tim Timmons, and Rob Drake are the umpiring crew here today. Mike Winters is the crew chief. He'll call the balls and strikes. And all the pieces are in place. The Brewers in their home whites, Cardinals in the road gray, and the Brewers hoping to make this 3 out of 4 from St. Louis. Right now, the Brewers are at an even 500 for the year against the National League Central Division. They have a winning record against St. Louis, coming in at 7-5. First pitch of the game is down and away we go. Great to have you with us here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Hope you make it a great Sunday, maybe some time outdoors, hanging out with the family. It's great to have you with us. Been a fun ride here this year for the Brewers. Right now at 14 games over 500, first place in the National League Central. Craig Counsell's team has a 2-game lead over the Chicago Cubs. And the Brewers have the best record in the National League opening play today.
And we talked about the starting pitching. It's been very good as of late. Last 11 games, excellent earned run average, just a bit over 2. Chassin a big part of that. He's been tremendous.
And he walks Carpenter on 4 straight. Unusual for Chassin.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Got to get the bats going again. 9 hits last 2 games after the Brewers pounded out 11 hits in the first game of this series. It's been a very good June for Chassin. 3-1, 185 earned run average, and he's only allowed 1 home run in that stretch in June. That's a big deal because these Cardinals hit a lot of homers. And Luke Weaver, today's starter for the Cardinals, has a very good changeup. That's his best pitch.
Second start against the Brewers for Weaver, and as Rock mentioned, Chassin start against the Cardinals, number 3 of the year, as he misses down and away, and that's 5 consecutive balls to start this game. Greg Garcia gets his first start. We've seen him do a little bit of everything. He's been a pinch hitter off the bench. He's pitched in this series. And there's the strike. Chassin finally finds the strike zone. And 1 ball, 1 strike on Garcia with a runner at first. That 2.18 ERA the Brewers have over their last 11 games. The Brewers are just 6-5 in the last 11. To your point, Rock, about the offense, and the Brewers need a little more firepower at the plate. They had a big game in the first game of this series, scoring 11 runs. But there were 5 unearned runs in that game. St. Louis committing 4 errors.
And since that time, the Cardinals defense has been pretty good. I mean, very bad first game of the series, but last 2 games they played errorless baseball. Actually, they did commit 1 error yesterday.
It was a 3-2 Cardinal win yesterday, their first win of this series. There's a curveball for a strike. That's a signature pitch for Jhoulys Chassin. He's got a couple of variations on that curveball, and that's one of the reasons he has been able to pitch as well as he has.
And lately, that pitch has been a more consistent strike pitch for Chassin than the fastball. He'll throw it any time, any count.
1-2, and a little chopper foul. Chassin is a pitcher's pitcher. He's a guy that has a lot in the toolbox, let's say. He can drop down 3/4. He'll give you a hesitation move, a long pause with the leg. He does all kind of different things on the mound to disrupt the timing of the hitter. He fields his position well. He's been a nice addition to this Brewers ball club.
And again, he got off to a slow start, typical of what the entire rotation was going through early in the season. Everybody really except for Chase Anderson got off to a good start, but lately the starting rotation has been very good, even battling all the injuries that they've had to endure. Been very impressive what they've been able to do.
The 1-2. Garcia slaps one down the left field line, fair. And Carpenter's going to turn and run. Throw goes to second base. Garcia is in with a double. And the Cardinals are in business quickly here today. A walk and a double. Second and third, nobody out to start this game.
Yep, and that's what Garcia will give you. He's not going to give you a whole lot of power. He'll just flare one into left field. Pretty good job with 2 strikes. Just slices it down the line. Not hit all that hard. Well, the first 2 reach, and Chacin in trouble early.
St. Louis won the game yesterday with only 4 hits. 2 of those were home runs. Yadier Molina responsible for all 3 runs yesterday for the Cardinals. Had a solo shot and then a 2-run home run in the 6th inning that put him ahead. This is not an offense that is clicking along by any stretch either, the Cardinals, but they do hit the long ball. And you worry about a home run ball in a spot like this. That could be a quick strike for St. Louis. Jose Martinez, who has 10 homers this year. It's a warm day in Milwaukee. The roof is open. The panels are open. There's a little bit of breeze blowing, which usually shoots out toward right center. So it's a day where the ball is going to fly, you would expect.
Yeah, 2 teams that hit a lot of home runs. Rely heavily on the home run ball for their run production.
2-0 pitch. 3 balls, no strikes. Well, Chacin is really having a tough go of it to start his day.
And usually he's a pretty quick starter. I mean, early in the game, he's normally pretty good.
3 balls, no strikes. See if Martinez has the green light, which he does, and he fouls it away. Yesterday, Martinez was 0 for 2. He did walk twice. He's hitting for average at .302. He's got a high on base percentage of .376. Highest OPS among the starters today for the Cardinals at .862 when you combine the on base and the slugging percentage. Another flare foul.
Boy.
From 3-0 to 3-2, and a couple of defensive looking swings by Martinez.
Yeah, 1 on 3-0 now. A curveball on 3-1. And those are you know, normally counts where you're going to be pretty aggressive. You're going to foul one off. You're whistling one over the Cardinals dugout, trying to get that bat head out.
Marcell Ozuna due next. Cardinal cleanup hitter. Just underway from Miller Park. Chacin in a battle early. Some high stress pitches right out of the gates here this afternoon. Ready for a 3-2. And it's in there. A called strike 3. A spinner on a 3-2 pitch. And an about face for Jose Martinez.
Yeah, good job. He threw the curveball in the 3-2 pitch. Catching the inside corner. A lot of times you're not going to get that call. Mike Winters, the home plate umpire, rings him up. Kind of the front door curveball, not exactly where he wanted it.
We'll see how aggressive Chacin will be with Ozuna. One of their best run producers. Has 41 RBIs this year.
He's had real good success against Chacin. 4 for 7 career.
How about all those strikeouts by the Cardinals? 4th most during this window of time. And on the first pitch, breaking ball, a fly ball into right center field. That is carrying back, and making the catch is Perez. What a catch. Carpenter will come in to score, but Hernan Perez with a gem early.
Yeah, not quite sure what Greg Garcia is thinking, but yeah, that's a heck of a catch for a guy that hadn't been out there a whole lot. Yeah, right up against the wall, able to haul it in. Carpenter scores, but Greg Garcia is still at second base. And nice play by Hernan. Well, if Chassis can get out of here with only 1 run scoring, that's got to be a moral victory.
No question. RBI for Ozuna. But Perez, who is a shortstop by trade, an infielder, does play the outfield occasionally, and he made that one look routine, which was not a routine play, especially with the high sky as it is. Very well done. 2 outs in the inning for Yadier Molina. Got all those white T-shirts to deal with and bright sunshine. Molina with a runner at second and 2 away, and he waves and misses at the curve, way out in front of that pitch. And now Chassin starting to get it going again. The Cardinals have scored 23 runs on this current road trip, which started in Philadelphia. So this is game 7 of the road trip. They've scored 23 runs now. 13 of them have come via the home run. And Molina drove in all 3 with 2 homers yesterday as he lines one to short. Garcia's got it to end the inning, and Chassin comes out of there about as well as he could. Only 1 scores. Out in the first, they get just 1, and now Eric Thames and the Brewers ready to get it started offensively against Luke Weaver. Craig Counsell, year number 4, his 3rd full season as the skipper of the Brewers, hoping it is a year for a postseason appearance, which would be his first as a manager. The Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin natives lineup looks like this today. Eric Thames, Christian Yelich, and Ryan Braun at the top. Travis Shaw, Hernan Perez, and Jonathan Villar in the middle, with Eric Kratz, Orlando Arcia, Jolie Chassin rounding it out. No Cain and no Aguilar in the starting lineup today. And Rockets, Luke Weaver on the mound for St. Louis.
Only spent a couple of years in the minor leagues, his 3rd year with the Cardinals, and you see he's got that earned run average a little bit above 4.5. 16th start, 3-6. His record, he's lost 4 straight decisions in 6 of his last 7.
His last 3 starts, he has given up exactly 4 earned runs in each of the last 3, and only pitching 5 innings in those last 3 as well, as Eric Thames takes a ball. Pitched against the Brewers back on the 28th of May. That was right here at Miller Park, and took a loss in that game. Brewers won that one 8-3, and Weaver went 4 innings, giving up 4 runs, 2 earned runs.
Yeah, hasn't been able to get through the 6th inning in any of his starts in the month of June. That covers 4 starts.
A matchup of number 7s here to start our day offensively for the Brewers, with Thames against Weaver. You don't see many pitchers wearing the single-digit numbers. One and 2 the count to Thames. And a big swing and a miss. Down he goes for the strikeout.
Well, let's check out the Cardinals defensively. We talked about it. They haven't been very good, although one error in the last 2 games. Ozuna, Bader, Fowler. You got Carpenter, Garcia, Wong, and Martinez from third to first. Yadier Molina behind home plate, catching all 4 games of this series, including 2 day games.
Beautiful sunny day. A lot of kids at the ballpark today. Love to see it. And strike 1 to Christian Yelich, who has homered off Weaver this year. Just 3 at-bats against him. That was in that May 28th game. Yelich with 9 home runs. He'll have a chance to set a new career standard for home runs in a season. That was the thought when the Brewers acquired him via trade. He pitched in, or hit in, a very pitcher-friendly park in Miami throughout his career. Yelich's career high in home runs, 21. Did that in 2016. That was a Silver Slugger Award year for Christian Yelich. He's won a Gold Glove. He's won a Silver Slugger.
Yeah, home runs are great, but that's not his game. That's not what he's thinking about when he goes up there. He's thinking up the middle. He stays on the baseball very well.
Yelich hammers one. Deep left field. Way back. All tied. You were saying.
That's what I was saying. Not thinking home runs, thinking up the middle, and he's able to knock one out of here way back and left. Boy, that was second deck. Opposite field for Christian Yelich.
Down the gauntlet on the gauntlet bobblehead day.
And that's just good contact. I mean, head down, lets the ball travel, and with the way it's carrying today, you don't have to really overswing. Nice catch out there in the second deck. That didn't take long. Tied it up.
Powerball home run number 10 for Yelich. Here is Ryan Braun, who takes a strike.
Hitters will tell you, when they go up there thinking home run, they hardly, if ever, hit home run. They're just trying to make good, solid contact, and then natural ability will allow them to knock it out of the ballpark. A nice, easy swing.
Braun into right field. That ball's deep. That ball's got a chance. It's off the wall. Braun off to the races. He will stop at second. A terrific job by Bader to hustle over there. Otherwise, Braun's at third. It's a double for Ryan Braun. Back-to-back hits, and the Brewers in business in the first.
Well, we talked about the bats have to get hot again. No better way to get that going than opposite field. Both Yelich and now Braun going oppo. 95 down the middle, and looked like Dexter Fowler turned himself around a little bit and not able to get there. I think he leaped a little bit too soon, and Braun able to get in there with a 1-out double. Dexter Fowler just not right these days. He's just not the same player that he used to be.
Well, Braun with his 12th double of the season to go along with his 8 home runs. He's the go-ahead run. The Brewers right back at it offensively here with Travis Shaw taking a strike. Cardinals got a run on the top of the first on a sac fly from Ozuna. Yelich with the home run. The 2 former Miami Marlins in the RBI column quickly. Shaw still trying to play his way through this wrist injury. Not serious enough to shut him down or go on the disabled list, but not 100% either.
It seems like it's affected his swing a bit.
Those 2 hits that he has in the series came in the first game of the series. We're seeing Travis get jammed a lot more than he normally does, and I would imagine the firing mechanism of that wrist, the right wrist, which is his bottom hand, the one that gets everything started with that swing, is just not quite as connected as he would like.
Yeah, pulls the bat through the zone, then the top hand takes over.
He's just a tick late again. He fouls it back.
Either one of those two things is not right. You know, the timing is off.
You can see Travis every now and then after a swing will flex that right wrist a little bit. As much as you try to go to the plate and put it out of your mind, it's that constant reminder. He says it's a nagging sensation that is always there.
You know, the tendency is, I mean, when you have a situation like that, overcompensate and start the bat a little bit sooner than you should, really exposing yourself to off speed. But we really haven't seen Shaw do that. He's still taking the same approach.
Well, he drove in 2 runs in the opener. 2 of 11 the Brewers scored, and Shaw takes a called strike 3 for the second out.
Yep, right on the inside corner. Cardinals have been very effective on the inside corner, you know, throughout this series, particularly the last 3 games.
I was talking to Mike Maddox, the Cardinal pitching coach, about that today. He said we have A, the pitchers who have the fastball to do that, and B, the command and the willingness to do that. A group of relatively young pitchers in their starting rotation. 24-year-old Luke Weaver is among that terrific starting rotation, which, by the way, has the best ERA in the National League coming into play today. The Cardinal starters have a combined ERA of 3.38. Their relief corps has struggled. They're down in the bottom half of the league in ERA, but their starters have been fantastic.
Yeah, the only guy that struggled is the guy you just saw on your screen, Carlos Martinez. He has had a rough go of it since coming off the disabled list. Earned run average well over 7 since his return. The rest of them have been pretty good.
Hernan Perez with 2 away, a runner at second. Hernan with a nice catch in the top of the first inning. There's another fastball strike. 1-2 the count on Perez.
Hitters beware. You better be up there swinging today. Used to be the strike zone got a little bit bigger on getaway day.
Is that right?
Umpires have planes to catch. Not so much anymore. They get graded on the strike zone these days. They can't do that.
It's breaking news. Umpires changing their strike zones depending on the situation of the game.
Back in the old days, that was expected. 11-1. Better be up there swinging, son.
Two-two to Perez. A home run, a double in this inning. 2 strikeouts as well for Weaver. And the 2-2 pitch. Perez floats one down, base hit, right field. Here comes Braun, and the Brewers have the lead. Hernan Perez. A little flare that falls.
Yeah, like the opposite field approach, though. He's thinking right field all the way with 2 strikes. Weaver able to get in on his hands, but Hernan able to fight it off. You see the way he's trying to pull those hands in, get enough of it, and over the head of Martinez. Braun scores easily, and the Brewers able to take the lead. There's a good answer to the first run for the Cardinals. It could have been a lot worse. Cardinals could have had a lot more. Garcia able to buckle down. Now the Brewers have the lead.
Those 2-out RBI hits, those are the gut punches to an opposition. That'll bring Jonathan Villar to the plate with Perez a base stealing threat at first. And Perez stays put. Villar with a big swing. Most 2-out RBIs this year. The Brewers second only to the Braves in the National League. 3rd across Major League Baseball. That is a key stat. Not to mention the actual runs that score with 2 outs, but the psychological blow it has on the opposing pitcher can carry over. And you add to the inning, right? More pitches to throw.
And a lot of those runs probably, you know, via the home run ball with two outs.
1 ball, 1 strike on VR. He's back at second base today. We saw Brad Miller play second base yesterday. His first start as a Brewer at second base. He was called up from AAA Colorado Springs.
Yeah, Domingo Santana sent down to AAA to get this swing ironed out. Not sure how long he'll be down there, but you got to figure he's going to be back at some point.
Now the Brewers have utilized the upper levels of the minor leagues extremely well this year, knowing that it's more than just about the 25 players on the current active roster at the major leagues. You've got to have, for lack of a better word, a taxi squad. You got to have a place where you can go work out mechanical problems, whether a pitcher or a hitter.
And not only does it help the major league team when you have, you know, guys coming up, but it keeps the guys down in AAA invigorated, because they figure that there could be any point in time where any one of them could get called up for a period of time, maybe not too long, but still a little bit of time in the big leagues better than none. That's good for morale down in AAA. It really is.
It would be easy to look at a big league team and say they're never going to send a guy down who hit 30 homers last year to AAA, but Santana needs that time. He needs those at bats, which he wasn't going to get here. So the door is open, and Miller, whom the Brewers acquired from the Tampa Bay Rays after he was designated for assignment, is on the roster. The Brewers are comfortable with their outfield depth right now, especially as Thames has returned the last 2 weeks. So that was really the idea behind it, aside from getting Santana right, was to add some infield depth.
It's been kind of a revolving door, you know, over there. You know, you got Miller now at second base yesterday. You got Vera over there. You've had starts for Sogard and Garcia. So you need a little bit of flexibility in the middle of your infield right now. Looking and waiting for somebody to get hot.
2-2 the count to VR. Perez at first. And a swing and a foul back. VR's hanging in there. Got a long at bat going here, and a long bottom of the first inning for Luke Weaver. He's already thrown 27 pitches.
After a long top of the first. Neither pitcher coming out of the bullpen very sharp.
Chacin giving up a run on a walk and a double. Run scoring on a sac fly. Did have a strikeout in the first. 2-2 the count. VR base hit. Perez will turn and head to third. VR's on his way to second and will make it with a hustle double.
Oh, it took Fowler forever to get over there.
Back-to-back hits with 2 outs, and VR pushing the envelope. Able to stretch his way into a double.
It looked like a change-up that stayed middle of the plate. It was down. It was a change-up. Able to fight, get it through the infield, and Dexter Fowler, he gets over there but a little bit too late, and VR able to get into second base. Good hustle by Jonathan VR.
Got an early visit to the mound from the Cardinal pitching coach Mike Maddox.
Well, 6 hits in the entire game yesterday for Milwaukee. Already 4 in the first inning.
You just need to put it in your scouting report today.
Right, the
Pizza Ranch.
Pizza Ranch for the win. Get the bats hot. Well, they did. At least in the first. Got to keep it going. You know, the Pizza Ranch for the win, and it's got some pull. It's got some clout. Guys, listen to that. Put it up on the screen up there in the dugout.
Yeah, well, they don't want to disappoint you.
No.
Brock. I mean, you're an icon around here, and you make it go.
Yeah, spent a lot of time thinking about that report.
Here's Eric Kratz. Second and third, 2 outs. 7th batter in the lineup, and Kratz can really deliver a blow here. Kratz gets the start today. He and Manny Pena sharing the catching duties. Kratz has been in there a lot since arriving to the Brewers from the New York Yankees. He was down in AAA with the Yankees. 38-year-old catcher, just turned 38 a couple of weeks ago.
And was red hot when he first got called up.
He's cooled off since. He's hitless in his last 13. But he hit 3 homers in his first 6 starts as a Brewer. Today is his 10th start. Has appeared in 11 games since arriving to the ball club at the end of May. They tied him up with a fastball up and in. Two 2-out hits from Perez and VR. Second and third. 0-2 the count on Kratz, and he fights that one off foul. Back to the high fastball. That was one of the better fastballs Weaver has thrown this inning. He's got 31 pitches on the board already. Going to be a short day for the Cardinal starter. Perez and VR with 2 strike hits. Kratz down 0-2. And he's dumping that one into right field, and it's going to be caught by Fowler. Well positioned. Inning is over, but the Brewers come up with a pair. Good answer in the bottom of the first. It starts with a Christian Yelich homer, his second of the year against Weaver. Another RBI by Perez, and it's 2-1 Brew Crew.
To the second in this series finale here at Miller Park. Lorenzo Cain out of the lineup today, and physically it's been a tough series for Cain. He has been dealing with hamstring cramps, hit by pitch twice, and then yesterday left the game early with a groin strain. I spoke to him before the game. He said he's feeling a little bit better with that groin strain. It is still bugging him a little bit, so he's planning to come in tomorrow on the off day, get some treatment, do some testing in terms of running and sprints, and see how he feels for that series against Kansas City on Tuesday. But Cain has been a guy that's been in there every day, and Craig Counsell says he knows what he means to this team, and that's been an important part of his game, is just being that guy that won't let you take him out of the lineup. But Cain hopeful that he could be in there Tuesday against the Royals. That's been since May 23rd, his last day off, while the Brewers have had a game. Thank you, Sophia. Jolie Chassin facing Dexter Fowler.
Well, and that's one of the many things that you get with Cain and Yelich. I mean, not only do you get that production and good at bats, strong defense, but you get two guys who are going to play every single day. They don't need a lot of days off. You can say the same about Travis Shaw.
Three-one pitch to Fowler is low and away, ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the second inning. Yeah, and you think about the context of Cain. Remember when he came to the big leagues? Came up through the Brewers minor league system, comes up to the major leagues. There's Shaw clutching at that wrist, by the way. It's a good shot. But Cain, his mentors when he arrived here in Milwaukee before he was traded to the Royals were guys like Ricky Weeks and Prince Fielder. And those two preached playing every day and being available every day. What's the old saying? The greatest ability is availability.
Yeah.
And I think that really set in stone the rest of Cain's career. Now, he has had numerous injuries throughout his career, and he does carry that as a bit of a badge of honor that when healthy, he will be in there. So, yeah, he was not pleased about being out of the starting lineup, but with a team day off tomorrow,
makes sense.
It buys you 2 in a row, and Council's going to take advantage of that every time.
Yeah, I remember those days when you know, Ned Yost would fill out a lineup card, and you know, Prince Fielder or Ricky Weeks, you know, might not be in there, but you know, he had a lot of questions to answer, and they did not like to be out of the lineup. Prince Fielder didn't even like to miss innings.
Line drive to left by Bader, a base hit. Well, the hits are coming today. This feels like a day for the offense. A walk and a single. First and second, nobody out against Chacin.
Yeah, you can't allow the bottom of this order to do any damage against you because the top is very good. You know, Fowler hitting about 160. He draws a leadoff walk, and then Bader with the single. Just asking for trouble.
Two on, nobody out for Wong. Got the pitcher due next. Key hitter for Chacin in the second, and he rips one into center field. Yelich on his way back will make the catch. Smooth as silk. Yelich runs it down for the out. Advancing is Fowler. It'll be first and third, but the first out of the inning to the Gold Glover.
No matter where you put him in the outfield, he's going to give you a Gold Glove play, and he just takes a good route to this baseball. He spins himself. He takes a good route. Never does have to turn around. Knew exactly, you know, how that ball was slicing toward him, so he goes straight back. A center fielder by trade and makes that look easy.
He played every game in center field last year with the Miami Marlins. Played a lot of left and a lot of right for the Brewers this year, going back to Cain and the fact he's played so much. When Cain does play, he is the center fielder, and Yelich is just fine with that. So one away, here is Luke Weaver. The Cardinal pitcher has 4 hits this season and shows bunt, takes one up and in.
Curveball.
Weaver is very fast. He's one of the fastest players on the Cardinal roster. So if he does get a bunt down, it is no routine throw to first. You've got to make sure you get it gathered and throw it quickly.
And there's pretty good speed on the bases as well.
Fowler over at third base, Bader at first.
Be surprised to see Fowler take off to home. He's going to read the bunt. Feels like he can make it. He'll take off.
And Weaver trying to bunt for a hit, bunts right through it, and it's 1-1.
Missed it by that much. He's kind of throwing the bat at it. That's not exactly the way you want to do it.
Trying to push it to the right side, it looked like. One ball, one strike, shows bunt again in the air, and Kratz can't quite get there. That was close. Good effort by the big catcher. Springing out of there at 38 years of age, and it's 6-4.
Is the grass all right over there? Good effort. Missed it by about a foot.
Always gives you everything he's got. Eric Kratz. He's always been like that.
Yeah. That's why he's been able to last as long as he has.
Well, we'll see what the play is here for the Cardinals. Now a 1-2 count. That first and third situation with a potential bunt looming is, with a good bunt, it's impossible to keep a run from scoring. Any kind of good bunt is going to bring in a run.
Especially when you have a base runner like Dexter Fowler. He can run, not as well as he used to, but still an above average guy on the bases.
Even if a run cannot score and there is, you know, an out at first, it still turns into a sacrifice with runners at second and third. So at least Chacin has gotten past that. We'll see if the Cardinals do want to bunt with 2 strikes. He shows bunt and he takes a call. Strike 3. Buckled him up with a big sweeping curveball.
Now, you knew Mike Matheny was going to keep the bunt on, because the last thing he wanted to see in this situation was Weaver hit a ground ball for a double play. The breaking pitch right down the middle. At least with the strikeout, you get Carpenter to come up with 2 outs.
And now Chacin will be tested here with Carpenter at the plate. First and third, 2 away. Carpenter walked and scored in the first. Carpenter hit a leadoff home run here Thursday night. The first pitch he saw from Brent Suter. He's had 13 home runs, and as their leadoff hitter, he is their home run leader. 17 career leadoff homers for Carpenter. Gives you a lot of pop at the top of the order. There's a breaking ball in there for a strike.
Yeah, but unlike Matt Carpenter, you know, here we are, we're approaching July and he's hitting .236. Unusual for him, but you can see what he's done against Milwaukee.
Career .294 hitter for Matt Carpenter, with 15 career home runs against the Brewers. That's a career that started for him in 2011. 113 games. Big hack. Fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Chacin got out of a mess in the first. Had runners at second and third and nobody out. Only 1 run scored. 2 on to start this inning. Now first and third with 2 away, and he's got Carpenter 0-2. Runner goes, and it's a strike called. He fooled him with a fastball. He caught Carpenter guessing, and the Cardinals strand 2. A backwards K by Jolie Chacin. Back-to-back Ks to end the second inning. Still 2-1 Milwaukee.
interleague series at Miller Park this Tuesday and Wednesday. Check out the complete series schedule. It includes half-price tickets for kids and seniors on Wednesday at Brewers.com.
Sunday afternoon at Miller Park. Cardinals Brewers, division rivals, matching up for the final time here this year. Already the third series of the year for the Cardinals in Milwaukee. Orlando Garcia leads all four of the Brewers against Luke Weaver.
The Cardinals have been striking out an awful lot, and a lot of the strikeouts are looking. All three of them today have been called strike threes for Chacin. That's amazing to have Matt Carpenter up there in that situation and take a fastball pretty much down the middle of the plate.
Well, the last 16 strikeouts by the Cardinal offense, 10 of those have been called strike threes.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch. Garcia in the air, right center, hit well. Fowler on the run, and he makes the play. What a catch.
A nice approach by Orlando Garcia. You just wish he'd be rewarded for it, but taking the ball to the opposite field with authority, that's what the Brewers have been waiting for all season long. Watch where the pitch is. It's away. He waits back. Looked like a cutter. Yeah, but a nice running catch by Dexter Fowler out there into the gap. Tough break.
Now Garcia can't buy a break right now. He's looked like he was starting to pull out of it a little bit in Pittsburgh, driving the ball to the opposite field like he did there. Jolie Chacin showed bunt and then looked like he saw a ghost and ran out of the box. But knowing Chacin, it's all part of the strategy to disrupt the pitcher. He's always thinking about the opponent.
Takes a pretty good hack up there.
He's got 4 hits this year. Got a little leg kick. Nice. Got himself ahead in the count 3-0. What do you think, Rock? Give him the green light here?
No doubt.
He better not.
Look in and spin.
And it's ball 4. Chacin walks on 4 pitches. That is a no-no. Not just to walk a pitcher, but to do it on 4 consecutive pitches. So it turns the lineup over. Eric Thames will step in. 1 out, runner at first. Brewers lead 2-1.
He's not a guy that walks a whole lot. I mean, I'm talking about, Luke Weaver doesn't walk many. I mean, 30 walks and 80 innings of work. Not too bad. He's a guy that pretty much pitches to contact. I mean, 68 strikeouts, 80 innings. But he has thrown a lot of pitches here already today. Normally, guys that work to contact, have low pitch counts. He's already at 42.
Only in the 2nd inning with 1 out. Will not be around long for this one. Thames takes a ball low, and Eric in a 2-1 count. Thames had a 3 RBI triple in game 1 of this series on Thursday. Missing 41 games with a ligament tear in his thumb. This is the 77th game of the season. Thames missed 41 and still has 9 homers and 20 RBIs.
Right. Big power.
Shows a good eye, and now it's 3-2.
Yeah, that's the other part of his game. He's not afraid to take a walk.
His on-base percentage about 100 points higher than his batting average. He'd like to get the batting average up, but he does get on a lot more often than the batting average would show. Curveball popped up a mile high, had him out in front of it. Molina is making the call, and he's got it for the out. That's a big out for Weaver. Thames is frustrated.
Yep, had a good pitch to hit. Yeah, just got under it, dropped the shoulder, tried to lift, and popped it straight up.
Second out of the inning, a foul pop. And with 2 away, here comes Christian Yelich. He hit a rocket out of here his last time up. Opposite field home run into the Loge level in left field. Yelich has 4 home runs against the Cardinals this year. 2 of them against Weaver. And Yelich has powered his way into the Powerball home run leaderboard. Aguilar at the top, then Shaw, and then there is Yelich into double figures. Eric Thames has 9. Thames hit 2 in a game last Sunday, a week ago today, against the Phillies. Brewers have plenty of pop. There's a lot of home runs in this lineup. Most runs scored since May 13th. This guy right here.
Yeah.
The name of the game, scoring the runs.
On base percentage, runs scored for guys at the top of the order. That's the most important 2 statistics. Get on base for the big boppers. Yelich has done a really good job of that.
Scoring runs is a skill as well. Yes, you are dependent upon what happens behind you, but what you do around the bases to get yourself in position matters. The way you cut the bags, going from first to third,
right, tagging up on balls in the outfield, going from second to third.
All those little plays, they matter. 2-2 on Yelich. The pitcher Chacin at first. Swung out of his helmet. And the count remains at 2-2. A good example of that would be last inning. Jonathan Villar's up there with 2 outs. He hits a little line drive to right field and goes to second. It's a hustle double. And so if Eric Kratz had gotten a base hit and drives in 2, you don't just think of it as an Eric Kratz 2 RBI hit. You would say Jonathan Villar earned that second run by hustling his way to second base. 2-2. Yelich fights another one off.
And every team works very hard, particularly in spring training, on plays just like that, taking the extra base, when to take the risk, when not to. There's certain times you don't want to risk that. Game situation will tell you when you do.
Do it again. Another 2-2 pitch coming to Yelich. And down he goes. Struck him out. High breaking ball. Yelich is retired. The inning is over. It's 2-1 Brewers as we go to the third. Kid's got a good arm. Bring it, son. Hey, the new home of the Milwaukee Bucks opens next season. Now is the time to lock in your seats. The season ticket packages that are available 2018-19 season are on sale now at foxsportswisconsin.com/events. By the way, Dante DiVincenzo is going to join us here in the booth on Tuesday. The Bucks first-round draft pick went 17th overall from the national championship team, the Villanova Wildcats. They had 4 players drafted in this recent NBA draft, and Dante DiVincenzo is going to be here on Tuesday. He'll throw out the ceremonial first pitch as well.
Yeah, once he gets in here, we're going to have to lock the door. You know, Mike Vasallo is going to be all over.
He's a big Villanova guy.
Villanova guy, yeah, he's going to embarrass himself. I know he is.
He's got a great nickname, DiVincenzo. The Big Ragu.
Okay.
That's how some people describe him. I was never quite bold enough to go there, but I do like the nickname.
The Big Ragu?
It's a good one, isn't it?
It's like the guy on Laverne and Shirley, wasn't they? Didn't they call him the Big Ragu?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah.
Good one, Rock. See, you bring everything around to old-time television.
And back to Milwaukee, right? Yeah.
Greg Garcia leads off against Chassin. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chassin looking for a clean inning here. He's had to work for his 2 innings of 2 hit and 1 run ball thus far. Cardinals have had a lot of traffic out there behind Chassin. Garcia with a base hit his last time up. And a little flare foul.
A tough guy to strike out. He puts the bat on the baseball. Doesn't always hit it very hard, but he has the ability to just kind of dump one over the infield. You can play him just about anywhere.
Full count to Garcia. In the air to left center field. Braun on the run, lays out, and he makes the catch. What a play. Ryan Braun, full out extension.
Boy, that ball kept slicing as if Braun got out there, helping him out a little bit. Had a little snow cone in the beginning, but able to keep it in the glove. A heck of a play by Brawny. Yeah, watch it, taking it for the gap, but it slices. Braun's catching up to it and able to keep it in the glove. Well done. Chassin likes it.
Been some good outfield play for the Brewers. First ball swinging Martinez. Travis Shaw will make the play for out number 2. Think about that catch by Perez in right center field on the sacrifice fly, and then this play by Braun. Dexter Fowler turned in a gem in right center as well, taking a hit away from Garcia. Good big league defense being played today.
That's the other thing the Brewers have really tightened up their defense. About middle of the pack in the National League in errors. 43 right now.
Now that was because a lot of that is because of a very poor start defensively in the first 3 weeks of the year.
Man, 21 errors first 19 games.
I like the way David Stern said it. He goes, it's kind of Murphy's Law-ish. You tighten up your defense. They make moves to be a better defensive team. So you're not able to go out and sign a big pitching free agent, right? Didn't land pitchers like Darvish or Arrieta. Not sure how deep the Brewers were in on that. They did get Chassin. So if you're not able to get some of those potential aces, then you try to tighten up your defense a little bit to make your pitching staff better. But in the beginning, it wasn't working out like that.
Right, it has since, though. After that first 19 game stretch, it's been very good defense.
3-0 is a little breaking ball that misses, and Ozuna is on. Did not look like Chassin was eager to go after Ozuna aggressively. If he was going to get himself out, maybe, but he'd rather take his chances.
Yeah, well, he's very aware of the success that Ozuna has had against him. I mean, after the first inning where he hit that deep fly ball to right, I mean, before that, Ozuna 4 for 7 against Jolie, so he'd rather just put him on and go after Molina.
No disrespect to Molina, but Ozuna has been tough on Chacin. There's a fastball strike. Twice on this road trip, Molina has hit 2 homers in a game. He did it yesterday again. And both of those games, he was responsible for all of the Cardinal runs. Cardinals won just the 1 game in Philadelphia, dropped 2 out of 3. So he's been responsible for the 2 wins, not to mention what he does behind the plate.
Right. How many runs does he save there? But yeah, both of his home runs in yesterday's game coming into right center. Good power to that side of the field. He likes to go to the opposite field. Game before that, he pulled everything.
Had a line drive to short his first time up. This one is popped up foul and out of play. Well, yesterday, Molina, as the Brewers jumped out early 2-0, was able to get 1 back on this opposite field drive. And then the big blow was this 2-run home run off Jeremy Jeffress in the 6th inning. The 6th multi-homer game that put the Cardinals on top, and that's how the game would end at 3-2. Runner goes. Big curve is in there. Down goes Molina. Chacin with a strikeout, his 4th. It's another backwards K for the Cardinals. How about Ryan Braun coming up with a defensive gem? Greg Garcia with the line drive. Braun fully laid out. Chacin says thank you very much.
Games ahead of the Cubs, who are in danger of being swept by the Reds. It was a scoreless game until the 5th. Anthony Rizzo hit a 2-run home run off of Sal Romano. That would give the Cubs a 5-0 lead. But as you see, the Reds have come all the way back, and it's now 6-5 in the bottom of the 7th. So the Cubs holding on to that 1-run lead. It's a good one going there at Great American Ballpark.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And watching the Cincinnati Reds, who have won 6 in a row and 8 of 10. Starting to play good baseball. Wondering what the Reds will do. That is a huge roster and story to watch if they are going to start trading some pieces away as we get to the trade deadline. Brewers will see Cincinnati on the next road trip. Ryan Braun leads away here for the Brewers in the 3rd.
Hey, I wonder if someone is going to go after their closer, Iglesias. Oh, that guy's something else. Pay big for that, though.
Fly ball into right center. That's Harrison Bader who wants it. Braun just missed it on the bat. And Braun is the first out of the inning. Yeah, you start getting into the teams that are going to be sellers, meaning they're going to trade some of their best pieces to try to get multiple prospects in. And there's a lot of really good players available. Manny Machado is probably the #1 target. Manny Machado of the Baltimore Orioles, Jacob deGrom, Noah Syndergaard, those names have been mentioned.
Hamels.
Yeah, Cole Hamels of the Texas Rangers. Yep.
But Iglesias would be a nice fit for anybody's bullpen.
Man, I'm telling you what.
Brewers are going to see Cincinnati next road trip.
Travis Shaw with one away. Shaw dropped the bat after that swing.
It's got to be tough for him because he's had some pitches where you would think that he could drive somewhere into the outfield, like this one right here, but a little bit behind it. You can see the grimace.
And that super slow-mo shot from straight on from center field, that shows you the kind of torque.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I think Craig Counsell just kind of, they need to just give him some time.
Athletic trainer Dan Wright joins Counsell. This falls under the don't be a hero column right here. The Brewers are in a good spot. You don't want to lose a guy like Travis Shaw for an extended period of time. So get him out, let him get some treatment on that wrist, a day off tomorrow. The Brewers have pieces to fill, and so Shaw is going to exit in an 0-2 count. And that is not a good sign for the Brewers that he cannot finish the at-bat. And he really didn't put up much of a fight, which tells you it must be bothering him a great deal.
Well, we saw him grabbing at it when he was over at third base. He had a shot of it. You could see the reaction. He lets go, you know, with that right hand, and you just got to get him out there, get some treatment, give him a few days, and get him back healthy.
So the options for Counsell could be Aguilar or Brad Miller. Eric Sogard can play the infield. It's going to be Brad Miller off the bench. Now, whether he plays third base or not, I don't know, but the Brewers have enough versatility with their position players that they can do a few things. So we'll see where he ends up. Could see VR move over to third and have Miller play second, but we'll see. So Miller is in there inheriting an 0-2 count, and it's a strikeout, which will belong to Shaw.
That is a very quick pinch hit at bat right there. One swing. You're right, on an 0-2 count, anytime you go up there and pinch hit with 2 strikes, it at bat, the strikeout will go to the guy that started it.
So 2 men are gone. Hernan Perez now had an RBI single in the first inning to give the Brewers the lead. Takes a strike. Perez, the right fielder today, proving his worth as a super utility man. If you're just a utility player, that means you only play the infield positions, right? But when you can add outfield play to that, you become a super utility man.
And the fact that he can play them all very well.
Yes. Yes, that's more important. Most utility guys are average to below average at the various positions. They just kind of get through games for you. Perez, anything but.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, last year, Craig Counsell said he's our best outfielder. When you consider all things, how he feels the game, reads the game, his throwing arm, his speed.
In the words of Craig Counsell, Perez has a very high baseball IQ. He thinks through things, situations, adapts well.
Today is his second start as a right fielder. And he's down on strikes. So Weaver's got that breaking ball dialed up now, and a 3-up, 3-down inning with a couple of Ks. We go to the 4th. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. It's a 2-1 game. The Brewers have the lead. All the runs coming in the first inning here today at Miller Park. We go to the fourth now. Ton of changes here as Travis Shaw was taken out mid at bat with that right wrist injury. And so Counsell has had to get a little creative with his position players. Remember, he's trying to stay away from Aguilar and Cain today. And so Brad Miller will enter the game at first base, which moves Thames to left, which moves Braun to right, which moves Perez to third. And Dexter Fowler sends one out toward Thames in left field. That'll be an extra base hit. It's a leadoff double for Dexter Fowler to start the fourth. 3 out of 4 innings, Chassin has had the lead man reach.
Yeah, it's been very difficult for Chassin to get to an inning clean. He hasn't done it yet. That breaking pitch. It was supposed to be in, but not in far enough, and Fowler able to dump it down the line.
That is a shortened up pepper swing, the kind of swing you get when you're 0 for 13 and just trying to get on base. Fowler snaps that hitless streak. Here is Harrison Bader now. So all those defensive changes, Rock. Why are these particular players in these positions?
Well, Ryan Braun very familiar with right field, although he prefers, left. Didn't want to use Aguilar as the pinch hitter. You don't want to use, a pinch hitter and then, bring another guy in for defense and shorten your bench. But I guess, the obvious move would be to just put Miller over at third base. I guess, Craig Counsell uncomfortable with that.
He moves Perez from right field to third base.
So you have 2 outfielders a bit out of position. I mean, Thames has been playing some outfield, but he's a first baseman. Ryan Braun has been a while since he's been out in right field.
Brad Miller was playing a lot of first base, almost exclusively first base with the Rays before he was designated for assignment. Braun has not played right field outside of 1 inning since the 2016 season. He was an everyday right fielder for a few years there. That started when Chris Davis was hitting home runs at a high rate, needed a spot in the outfield.
And he moved back to left field to make room for Santana.
Braun's already made a terrific catch as a left fielder today.
Craig Counsell does keep his up the middle defense intact.
3 balls and a strike on Bader. Curveball misses high. And for the 3rd inning today, the Cardinals have 2 on with nobody out.
Hey, go sleeveless this summer by picking up a one-of-a-kind Brewers tank top given to the first 20,000 fans at Miller Park for the Brewers game against the Minnesota Twins on July 3rd. That's courtesy of Pick and Save. Book your seats today by going to brewers.com/tickets.
Colton Wong at the plate, 2 on, nobody out. Chassin has been towing the line here often early in this game, but has only surrendered the 1 run. It was 2nd and 3rd in the first inning with nobody out. The run came in on a sac fly. 1st and 2nd, nobody out in the 2nd. He stranded him. Left a man on last inning. Cardinals have already left 4. We're only in the 4th inning. Tough guy to double up here in Wong.
Yeah, bottom of the Cardinals order has been on 4 times. Can't allow that.
When you're in the middle of the summer in Milwaukee at Miller Park, a big inning is 1 swing away usually. Chacin trying to get Wong to hit one on the ground. There's a strike. Good fastball. 2-1.
Yeah, that's a good pitch to get one on the ground. Right at the knees, over the heart of the plate.
Wong has grounded into 3 double plays this year. He's got to hit one pretty firm at an infielder to turn one up. In the air to right field, right off the end of the bat. Braun will make the catch. Fowler's going to tag, and Braun's throw comes all the way through the tag, and he's safe. Close. Perez is convinced he got him. Both runners advance.
Well, it was a swipe tag. I'm not sure if he doesn't keep the tag on Fowler that he's not going to be out. A lot of times a guy on a hit first slide is going to lose contact with the base. This is a risky play, but worked out well for St. Louis. Pretty good throw.
Ooh,
pretty close.
He is close.
But he's safe.
Yeah, I think he missed him. He missed.
Well, he missed him, and then if he keeps the tag on him, he might be able to get an out call.
You know, it's just a little bit of a short hop. Perez did all he could. It was actually a nice pick by Perez to keep that one from going into the dugout.
If he gives him a long hop or the short hop, I think he's going to be out. But in between hop, kind of handcuffed Perez. It took him a while to slap the tag, but a very risky base running play by Fowler. That worked out.
Bader tagged behind him, so second and third with 1 out. The pitcher Weaver at the plate. Man, he misses badly on a curveball. And you got to give Ryan Braun a little bit of a break too. He hasn't made a throw like that from right field in 2 years. It was right on line. Just a bit of a short hop. Braun does have a good arm.
That was a good throw.
Oh, and 2 the count. Chacin's got Weaver stepping in the bucket at the plate. He's throwing him a bunch of curveballs today.
Yeah, as long as you keep him down, you know, don't help him out by hanging one.
Top of the order, Matt Carpenter due next. Can Chacin pitch out of another mess? Brewers lead at 2-1. We're in the 4th. 0-2 pitch. He got him. He went right back to it. And Weaver bit again. It's another strikeout for Chacin. That's his 5th.
And this one more the slider this time. Not as big a break, but way off the outside corner.
And it is Matt Carpenter once again who struck out looking with runners at first and third back in the 2nd inning. Chacin fooled him with a 2-strike fastball right down the middle. Carpenter is 0 for 1 with a walk and a K.
You got first base over. You can be careful, although Garcia is a guy that doesn't strike out a whole lot. Puts the bat on the ball. Carpenter, you know, he can strike out. I mean, you get ahead of him, make him chase.
Cardinals have been striking out at a record pace. They are averaging over 12 Ks a game as an offense on this road trip. So this is game number 7 in the 6 previous games. Punched out 72 times in 6 games. And Brewer pitching has had a 15 and a 13 strikeout game.
Yeah.
Chacin with 5 Ks, 4 of them looking. One ball, 1 strike. Cardinals have fast runners on the bases, and Chacin wants to start over with Kratz. Well, long pause by Chacin. Now he's ready. The 1-1 is in the air to center, and that's down for a base hit. That's going to score 2. Carpenter with a 2 RBI single, and the Cardinals are on top 3-2. Tough to keep that guy down long. And after all of those base runners, Chacin has been able to wiggle around. He finally gives up a pair.
Yeah, it catches up to you after a while. First 2 reads, 3 different innings, and this time Carpenter able to hit one hard in the center. Wasn't surprised by the fastball this time. And Bader, who walked in this inning, able to come around to score. So two of the walks that Chacin has issued have come around to score today.
Falls behind Greg Garcia. Chacin with 4 walks. He's given up 4 hits now. 3-2 Cardinals. One and one to Garcia. He had a double in the first inning, and then he lined out. That was that diving catch by Braun back in the 3rd inning. The Brewers are without some serious firepower in their batting order right now, with Shaw out of the game with a wrist injury. No Aguilar, no Cain in the lineup. Three balls and a strike on Garcia.
And a little high. Pitch count starting to get away from Chacin here. 72 in the 4th inning. Neither pitcher all that sharp today.
He lost him. It's another walk for Chacin, his 5th, and it's 1st and 2nd with Martinez coming to bat. Derek Johnson is on his way out. First game this year, Chacin has walked 5. Very uncharacteristic of Chacin. He doesn't mind the walks. He will pitch around the lineup to get to certain matchups, but it's usually controlled in that manner. But today he looks like he's just searching a little bit.
He's really hadn't been able to locate his fastball very well. I mean, the curveball has been a much better pitch for him today than the fastball, and that's kind of unusual. Normally guys can pretty much put their fastball, you know, where they want it a lot easier than the curveball. We saw that from Chase Anderson the other day, or actually yesterday. You know, fastball issues. Curveball was better.
Well, big moment in this game early. We're only in the 4th. Cardinals have 2 runs in, 2 out, 2 RBI single by Carpenter, and now Martinez is up. One of their big boppers. Starts him with a hook, and it's in there for a strike. Martinez has big power to center field and right field. Oh, 0-2 the count.
He's got that big hack, big long uppercut swing.
Well, let's see what he has in mind here. 0-2, 2 on, and that one's deep. Martinez pops a 3-run home run. That's what you were afraid of right there. Could feel it coming. Jose Martinez with his 11th homer of the season. Snaps it 0 for 10 at the plate. And the Cardinals now lead it 6-2.
Yeah, when you have a guy that's got an uppercut like that, the worst place to put a baseball or a pitch is down and in. That's exactly where it is, and see you later. You know what? You get that pitch up in the zone, much different situation. That uppercut swing doesn't get to that high fastball, but down and in, that's a no-no.
Now Ozuna, he gets jammed. A fly ball to right. Braun coming in, can't get this one. Gets by him. Ozuna on his way to second. And it is a double, and this inning continues for the Cardinals. They will bat around in the 4th.
Not a bad pitch. I mean, that's where you wanted to throw the pitch to Martinez, up and in. Ozuna very strong, able to muscle it out there into the outfield. Braun playing deep, as you should with Ozuna at the plate. Not able to get there. But that's where he wanted the pitch to Martinez, not down and in. He wanted it up and in.
Yadier Molina. Cardinals have 5 runs in the inning. 2 RBI hit by Carpenter, a single, and a 3-run homer by Martinez, all coming with 2 outs.
Yeah.
And Molina lines one, caught by Perez. Twice Molina has lined out. This one saves another run, but now the Brewers have their work cut out for them. 6-2 Redbirds.
Taken an early 5-0 lead. The Reds came all the way back thanks to a Jesse Winker 3-run home run and this double by Joey Votto to give them a 7-6 lead. The Reds put together a serious comeback against Pedro Strop as 5 straight reached against him. The Reds now with an 8-6 lead in the 8th there, and again they're going for the sweep against the Cubs. And in other news for the Brewers, Zach Davies, his 2nd minor league rehab start complete this afternoon in AAA with the Sky Sox. He went 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, not a run allowed, 4 strikeouts for him, and 1 walk. Davies went 57 pitches and 40 strikes, so a good 2nd rehab start for Davies there.
Good report from down on the farm from Sophia. Good for Zach Davies, his 1st rehab start. Word is that it was one of the worst weather days they had all year in Colorado Springs, with the wind blowing out and extreme conditions, tough conditions to pitch. So more Zach Davies like today. That's good. Able to stretch it into the 5th inning. Jonathan VR will lead the way for the Brewers. It is 6-2 St. Louis. Cardinals get 5 runs with 2 outs on 2 swings of the bat in the 4th. And now the Brewers minus Shaw and no Cain or Aguilar in the lineup are going to have to drum up some offense against Luke Weaver.
And you can't allow the bottom of the order to get on base. Chacin did that. Fowler, Bader.
Well, you figure it could be the end for Chacin. His spot is due up 4th. Any kind of opportunity to score some runs, Counsell would certainly have to take it, but he's playing with a short bench today, so there's a lot to process as VR strikes out to start the inning.
Hey, on Monday, July 2nd, the first 10,000 fans 21 and older will take home a limited edition wall flag featuring the Brewers ball and glove logo, courtesy of Miller Lite. To secure your seats, go to brewers.com. Nice flag. That'll look good in my house. Right in the living room, I think.
You got a lot of wall space at that house, so you might need a few flags.
You think she'd let me put it up right there as we enter the house?
I don't think so, actually. There is nothing hanging on the walls that came from your brain.
None of my ideas.
Not to say there's nothing you don't like on the walls or that is from your memorabilia collection,
Yep.
but certainly wasn't your idea. Leaning it up against the rail of the stairs is not considered hanging anything.
Yeah. I trust your judgment, sweetheart. When it comes to decorating.
0-2 to Kratz, and Weaver, with his offense getting it together in the top of this inning, is locked in now. He has struck out the last 4 batters he's faced. 7 strikeouts for Weaver and 2 quick outs in the 4th. Pitching with purpose with a 6-2 lead. Here's Garcia now, who lined out his last time up. Brewers have had just 1 base runner since the 2nd. Weaver has retired 7 in a row. 5 of the 7 have come via the K. One and 2 the count. Garcia, a little tapper to the mound. And a 3-up 3-down inning, a shutdown inning. After his team got him 5 in the top of the 4th, Weaver goes through the order in the bottom half. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. That was a big play right there. Fowler able to advance last inning, and that started the wheels in motion for the St. Louis Cardinals. Matt Carpenter and Jose Martinez with the big hits. A 5-run inning. It is 6-2 St. Louis. Fowler starts the 5th. He led off the 4th with a double. Chacin starting his 5th inning now. He does have 5 strikeouts. He's issued a season-high 5 walks. He was walking the fine line in the first 3 innings, and the Cardinals break through in the 4th. And now Fowler hits that one hard into left center field, and Yelich can't quite get there. That's going to go to the wall. Good effort by Christian Yelich, but it is another leadoff hit. It's a leadoff double for Dexter Fowler. He's been on base 3 times today.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy coming in hitting him just a little over 160. He has not been able to do much at all this year, and hit that one hard. You see where it ends up. Ends up down the middle, up a little bit, and Fowler goes right with it, slicing away from Yelich. It just has not been a good day for Chacin out there in the mound. This is unusual for him.
First time all year he's given up 6 earned runs in a start. Just out of his reach.
Good effort out there. That ball was slicing away from him as he got out there.
So Fowler's been on 3 times. Harrison Bader has been on twice. The 6 and 7 hitter in this Cardinal lineup. No balls and 2 strikes. Bader with a single in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th. Cardinals have 7 hits today to go along with their 5 walks. Ton of base runners against Chacin. Unusual start for him. Bader lines one to left. Fowler's going to try to score. The throw from Thames cut off. Perez won't make a throw. And another run is in. It's 7-2 now.
Something about the St. Louis Cardinals and Jhoulys Chacin. He is 0-6 against St. Louis. Has never beaten him in his career. And here's a hanger. It's a slider. Hangs up in the strike zone on a 1-2 count. And Bader able to hit it hard into left.
Bader with his 2nd hit of the game. He and Dexter Fowler on base all 6 trips to the plate. 4 for 4 with 2 walks. And here is Colton Wong now. 7-2 St. Louis.
It's just amazing. Some teams just give certain pitchers just fits. And it's different guys in the lineup. You just never know.
That's a base hit. Bader on his way to 3rd. Braun's throw all the way through, not in time. And it's 1st and 3rd. 3 consecutive hits by the Cardinals. And Craig Counsell certainly has to think about taking Chacin out at this point. He was hoping to get him through 5. But the Cardinals have a chance to put this one away without a turnaround in this inning.
Yeah, off day tomorrow for Milwaukee, but then they don't have an off day until the All-Star break. So you got to consider, even with 7 relievers out there in the bullpen, you just got to be careful. You're already down by 5. Chassin's pitch count is just under 90.
The pitcher Luke Weaver at the plate, 1st and 3rd, and he gets a bunt down. That's going to bring in another run. Out at first base, Bader scores. Be an RBI for Weaver on a sacrifice, and it is 8-2 St. Louis. Cardinals are making it look easy at the plate right now.
Yeah, they are. And you know, Chassin's getting a lot of the plate, not getting a lot of sink. Breaking pitch up in the strike zone. We haven't seen this at all out of Chassin. He's been putting together a really good month of June. 4 starts before today, a 185 earned run average, and a 3-1 record.
Council's coming out for a double switch. Chassin's spot in the order due to lead off next inning. Jolie Chassin had allowed just 9 earned runs all year here at Miller Park prior to today. In 6 starts, there are 8 on the board right now, and still a runner at second base. His responsibility, just not his day. Chassin's been excellent, but today was anything but. And he will exit for Dan Jennings.
With hashtag hats off for heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Tough day at the office for Brewer starter Jolie Chassin, giving up 8 earned runs at this point in 4 1/3. Still a runner out at second base, his responsibility. And the Cardinals have an 8-2 lead. Playing the top of the 5th inning with Matt Carpenter coming up. It's going to be Dan Jennings out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
Yeah, a couple of left-handers coming up. Carpenter and Garcia. Last pitch did Jennings on Thursday. First game of the series. Threw an inning, gave up a run, and allowed 3 hits in the process. 360 earned run average for Jennings in game number 36.
Other half of the double switch is at the shortstop position. Garcia is out. Sogard will play short. Sogard will lead off in the bottom of this 5th. So Jennings goes to work on Carpenter with a runner at second. Carpenter broke the seal last inning with a 2 RBI double with 2 outs. Gave the Cardinals the lead 3-2, and then they would add 3 more on a home run by Jose Martinez later in that inning. A 5-run 4th. They have 2 in here in the 5th. The Brewers open play today with a 2-game lead over the Cubs. That game has gone final. Cincinnati comes back from 5-0 down to beat the Cubs 8-6.
Amazing, isn't it? Look out, Red. Look out for the Reds. They're hot.
They swept the Cubs Cincinnati's won 7 straight. And the Brewers, regardless of what happens here today, would remain 2 back. If it's a win, go 3 up if the Brewers have a comeback in them. Still a lot of baseball to be played. You never know. The Reds came back from 5 runs down. Cubs had a 5-0 lead going into the bottom of the 5th inning in that game in Cincinnati. It's going to skip away from Kratz. On his way to third goes Wong. And a 2-2 count on Carpenter. Wild pitch from Jennings.
Scorebook's a mess last 2 innings.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cardinals batted around in the 4th. Nine hits for St. Louis. Brewers bring their infield in now. 1 out, runner at third, and a 2-2 to Matt Carpenter on the way. And he got him. Called strike 3. Carpenter stands to argue. Second out of the inning.
Looked like a pretty good pitch. Slider. Look at Kratz, holds it right there for Mike Winters. Don't you think a little too close to take? Certainly too close to argue about.
Two outs for Greg Garcia. Dan Jennings, former Tampa Bay Ray, among others. White Sox, Marlins. Facing the back-to-back lefties in Carpenter and Garcia. Long over at third. And Garcia takes ball 2. That breaking ball has been a good pitch for Jennings. Garcia has whiffed twice.
He's been able to, keep it on the outside corner. You got the 1-2 Carpenter down and away, right on the edge, at the knees.
Two-two the count, and he misses with a fastball. Speaking of sweeps, by the way, the Arizona Diamondbacks are out in front of the Pirates again today. 3-0 in Pittsburgh. Diamondbacks trying to sweep the Pirates. It's 3-0 Arizona in the 7th inning now. Bouncing ball right to Miller. Inning is over. Jennings puts the fire out, but the Cardinals score 2 more, and it's 8-2 St. Louis.
our UW Whitewater minor league scouting report. We're checking in on AAA and the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. Second baseman Nate Orf yesterday went 4 for 6, 2 doubles, 2 RBIs for him in 66 games this season. It's been a .300 average for Orf. 15 doubles, 4 homers, 34 RBIs. And in case you're just joining us, Zach Davies made his second minor league rehab start this afternoon with the Sky Sox. It was 4 1/3 shutout innings, 4 strikeouts for him on 57 pitches.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Nate Orf just keeps on hitting. That guy puts up numbers every year in the minor leagues.
And we see him in spring training every year, and a good player. There's another guy you can play just about everywhere. Infield, outfield, you name it.
Eric Sogard leads off for the Brewers. This is his first at bat. Came in on the double switch.
He and Kyle Wren,
yeah,
inseparable. Spring training, when you see one, you see the other.
Yeah, it's good to give those guys a little airtime because they grind it out. They're not on that prospect list, but can't argue with the numbers. Orf hits every year.
They're just smart players.
Not shocking he's hitting .300
again.
Sogard in for Garcia on the double switch last inning. Miller had to come in for Travis Shaw, left with a wrist injury. He's been trying to play through an injured wrist and had to leave mid at bat. I hope it's not a serious situation for Shaw, but this might be one that has him down for a few days because he was trying to play through it. Took a couple of days off, see if he could calm it down. And he's been playing in the St. Louis series, and it finally
you can just
got to be unbearable today.
You can just tell there were a lot of pitches that he had to hit that he was just a little behind.
Sogard strikes out to start the 5th. If you're just joining us, Travis Shaw has been one of the most productive hitters in his 2 years in Milwaukee. A swing on a foul ball, and that made the count 0-2. He dropped the bat. He actually dug back in to hit with an 0-2 count, but then Counsell came out with the athletic trainer Dan Wright, and they checked him out, and Shaw didn't put up a fight.
Yeah,
he's out.
Just hope he didn't do any additional damage to it by playing in the series. Sometimes you're better off just sitting it out, getting it healthy, and it's much better for everybody when you do that. But you got to admire the fact that he wanted to be in there. He knows how important he is to the team.
Eric Thames, who began the game at first base, is now in left field. That Shaw injury spun off a flurry of moves by Counsell defensively. A lot of players changing positions. Miller went to first, Thames went to left, Braun to right, Perez over to third base. He was in the outfield to start the day. Brewers had a 2-1 lead going into the 4th, and with 2 outs in the 4th, the Cardinals scored 5 runs. Added 2 more in the top of this inning. Weaver is on a run now. He's retired 9 in a row. 11 out of 12 since VR's double in the first inning. Up and in. Thames draws a walk. First base runner since a walk to Chassin back in the 2nd.
Hey, today's time of the game winner. Elsa's on the Park in Milwaukee. Been to Elsa's?
I have.
Downtown? Good
I like
spot.
that place.
Been there a while. Hey, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Say hello to all of our friends at Elsa's watching the game today, hoping for a comeback. Christian Yelich with Thames at first.
You know, that was one of Paul Molitor's favorite spots back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
That's how long they've been around here.
You have firsthand knowledge of that? Did you get an invite, or that's just what you heard?
No. We used to go down there. Yeah, good times, good food, cold drinks.
Yelich into left. Ozuna at the track makes a catch. He just missed it on the back. Making a bid at his second home run of the day, Christian Yelich. Instead, it is the second out. Sounded a little clunky. Let's see where he got it. Yeah, down toward the end a little bit.
Yeah, and still able to drive it deep, sending Ozuna to the fence.
Ryan Braun with 2 away. Brewers need to start chipping away a little bit. And Braun into center field. Another one off the end of the bat. Got some carry though, but Bader will make the catch. 2 long fly ball outs, and the Brewers come up empty in the 5th. Game came from this guy, Jose Martinez, up there with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Our Badger Mutual Insurance run to the game. After Carpenter had given the Cardinals the lead, Martinez added to it with that 3-run home run that capped off a 5-run inning. And Martinez now with 11 homers, 47 RBIs. Dan Jennings back to work. He finished up the 5th inning. He got Carpenter and Garcia. And facing Martinez, Ozuna, and Molina coming up for the Redbirds in this 6th inning. Drive into right. Back on it is Braun, and he's got it for the out. Well, Braun playing his first game in right field in 2 years. He has certainly been tested out there. He's had a lot of action.
Yeah, that wasn't easy, although he's playing really deep out there in right field, and a couple of steps from the warning track out in right, able to haul it in. You can see where he started. Doesn't have that far to go, to make the catch.
Well, at least he gets to stand in the shade, though.
Say hello to the folks out there in the picnic area, the bullpen. That's where we should do a game sometime.
I'm ready. What's it take?
We're getting no traction on any of these ideas.
It's probably for good reason. There's a little flare. Miller can't get it over his head. And Ozuna with a base hit.
That is a lot of work for the crew, isn't it?
We have a lot of bad ideas. I mean, they don't seem like they're bad ideas when we bring them up, but they usually are. We get that.
But what has to happen is somebody else has to come up with the idea. Then it becomes a good one.
Yeah, that's right.
You and I do it, it would just be creating problems.
That's the way it works with my kid. It's got to be somebody else's idea.
Right. Out there in the Aurora Healthcare bullpen. How about the Miller Lite deck?
That seems a little risky. That seems like a solo broadcast for me at some point.
Toyota territory. Toyota territory would be good.
We've done a game from the Associated Bank check deck, and that did not go well. I mean, it was fine technically and all, but remember that was a game Josh Willingham hit 2 grand slams.
2 grand slams. Yeah, you're right.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We were the only ones sitting out there at the end of that game.
Yeah, we go out there on Fridays. You got the little porch out there. You can keep a good eye on the bullpen. I mean, that'd be a good way to go. I mean, talking about the bullpen, what goes on down there.
I'm in. Sign me up.
I would not want to go up into Bernie's dugout. A little bit too high for me.
That's a little, maybe the sliding area. The chalet is a little high.
Yeah.
The sliding area is manageable. One deck below. Up there in that quick trip area with the chalet.
Yeah.
That's no fun.
Anyway.
I like all your ideas, Rock. Yeah, that's a little up there. If we did a game from there, would you go down the slide after a home run?
No.
Molina strikes out for the second out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
It seems like a nice little easy trip down that slide, but I've had the walk of shame. I went up there and took one peek down and said, nope, I'm all right.
Yeah, I mean, when you stand at the top, you can't see. I mean, it feels like you're just going to fall off into the stands. I know, I'm a chicken. I admit it.
Same reason I don't go to the top of the roof. Just take your word for it.
Yeah.
Brewers having a hard time getting Dexter Fowler out today. He's on base 3 times. The switch hitter. His first 3 plate appearances off the left side. Had a walk and 2 doubles. He scored twice. Came in 0 for his last 13 at the plate. Was hitting 163 for the year.
Dexter Fowler is 3 for 36 as a right-handed hitter. That is an .083 batting average.
Yikes. He is in the second of a 5-year deal with the Cardinals. Jam shot, roller out to Sogard. That'll be the inning. And Jennings has gotten us back to a little order here. 8-2 Cardinals. We go to the bottom of the 6th.
Brewers Community Foundation will partner with players, coaches, wives, alumni, and other team personnel to continue the Beyond the Diamond campaign, a series of community outreach events benefiting the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs throughout the greater Milwaukee area.
Okay, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the Brewer half of the 6th inning. Brewers find themselves down 8-2. Cardinals have 10 hits in this game. Big crowd on a Sunday afternoon at Miller Park. They are waiting to cheer, hoping for something good to happen. Brad Miller leads off. Miller entered mid-count. Travis Shaw left with a wrist injury. Miller inherited that 0-2 count. He ended up striking out, a strikeout that belongs to Shaw. So this will be the first official plate appearance for Miller. Played in his first Brewer game yesterday, called up from AAA.
First at bat, drove in a run with a base hit. I tell you, Weaver's got that off-speed stuff working nicely here today. Interesting that back-to-back games for the Brewers, they've been able to score 2 runs in the first inning, and then that's it.
Yeah, lost 3-2 yesterday, down 8-2 today.
Miles Michaelis, they got 2 runs on him in the first inning. Same thing today.
Luke Weaver in a 1-2 count on Miller. He struck him out. Another K for Weaver. That is number 9. Boy, these two teams can rack up the strikeouts, the Cardinals and the Brewers.
Man, no kidding. Pitch up and away, and Miller swings right through it. Man, Luke Weaver, after the first inning, has been dialed in. No hits. He's only walked a couple since the first.
Season high in strikeouts with 9 of them. Had an 8 strikeout game against Kansas City. Hernan Perez with 1 away. A fly ball to right. Fowler for the 2nd out. Well, the Reds beat the Cubs today. Comeback win for Cincinnati, 8-6. Diamondbacks leading the Pirates 3-0 in the top of the 9th inning. Pittsburgh in danger of being swept and dropping to 5 games under 500. Right now, the division leaders in the National League are the Brewers, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. Atlanta with a 1.5 game lead over the Phillies, but the Braves have lost 3 straight. Atlanta is home against Baltimore today. They do lead the Orioles this afternoon 7-3. That NL East has been hard to figure. By all accounts, Washington has the most talent, maybe the most talent in the National League.
Had a lot of injuries.
They've lost a couple of games in a row. The Nats, they play tonight. They host the Phillies tonight. That's what it looks like in the East. The surprising Braves at the top with 43 wins. The Brewers have 45 wins.
Atlanta, the biggest surprise in the big leagues this year, probably.
Yeah, I think so, right?
Gotta think it in. They are 43 and 32. Well, they're swinging the bats too. They lead the league in batting average.
Brewers are going to see the Braves on the next homestand. That's a 4-game series against Atlanta. The 4th of July week. Brewers have a nice homestand coming up.
Atlanta leads the league in batting average and runs scored coming into play today.
Braves will be here July 5th through the 8th. Twins are here July 2nd through the 4th. Little jam shot roller out to short, and a high throw. Martinez pulled off the bag. Inning continues.
It's only the second ground ball that the Brewers have hit off of Luke Weaver today. It's been all the outs have been strikeouts and fly balls. That grounder here, and this should have been, you know, the third out, but a high throw. And we are in there safely. Greg Garcia drops his arm. Throw a little bit high. You can clearly see that Martinez is off the bag. On a routine ground ball to third. Or I should say short.
So VR reaches on an error. Here's Eric Kratz now. And he whistles one into left field. A little 2-out rally perhaps. The error has opened the door. Now a long ball could get the Brewers right back in this one. And look who's coming up. Pitcher spot due up. Counsell is going to take a shot at it right here.
Yeah, running out of players. Lorenzo Cain is left. Manny Pena. They don't want to use Cain. I don't think that's going to end the day for Luke Weaver, or we think it does. Yep.
So the error keeps the door open, and Matheny is going to take the ball from the hand of his starter. Weaver is out, who was impressive today. 9 strikeouts. He will exit with 2 earned runs. Pitching change at Miller Park. Weaver, who had a very high pitch count in the first 2 innings, gets through 5 2/3. Now Aguilar trying to bring some magic once again. How about a .400 batting average over his last 7? That includes 5 home runs and a walk-off home run on Friday night here at Miller Park. Multi-homer game for Aguilar on Friday. Monster numbers. Aguilar was up yesterday with the bases loaded and grounded out, and he'll get another chance with 2 on and 2 away. Mike Myers is on to pitch.
Yeah, this is the 6th different time he's been with the Cardinals. He's been on that road back and forth between Memphis and AAA and the big leagues. Got called up on June 8th.
Weaver goes 5 2/3. At this point, 2 runs allowed. Every runner that's out there now, both runners would be unearned runs. 9 punch outs, a season high for Weaver. And 2 on Aguilar.
Yeah, Weaver got things together nicely after that first inning. It looked like it was going to be a real short start for him, but the only hit that he allowed after the first was that base hit by Kratz in this inning. A couple of walks, an error.
Had retired 9 in a row at one point. 0-2 to Jesus. 2 on, 2 out. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Aguilar pinch hitting. This is the spot that earned him more playing time. Coming off the bench, he proved he could handle that duty well last year. He was Council's best pinch hitter last season. Mike Myers, a long pause, and he strikes out Aguilar to end the inning. So the Brewers strand 2, and the Cardinals still lead it 8-2. To the 7th we go on a Sunday afternoon. Cardinals up big. This up started off great for the Brewers. Christian Yelich with an opposite field home run. Tied the game quickly after the Cardinals had scored on the top of the first. Brewers would score 2 in that inning, and then Matt Carpenter finally got to Chacin, drove in 2 with that single, then a 3-run homer 2 batters later by Martinez, a 5-run Cardinal 4th. They would add 2 more in the 5th inning, and it is 8-2 St. Louis. Jolie Chacin struggles against the Cardinals continue. Chacin's ERA against St. Louis now in 3 games this year is 8.59. Giving up 17 runs in 14 2/3 innings. 14 of those are earned runs. So that's our scene right now as we go to the 7th inning. 8-2 Redbirds, and Jacob Barnes is out for the Brew Crew. And he'll face Harrison Bader.
It kind of reminds me back not that long ago, Yovani Gallardo had a very difficult time against the Cardinals. Win-loss record not very good, high earned run average, and every pitcher has a team that they just can't figure out. Year after year, different hitters, but there's something about that color red for Chacin. Same thing with hitters as well. I mean, certain hitters just don't seem to be able to hit against certain teams. Maybe it's scouting reports, who knows.
Well, Chacin's been so good. Mentioned the fact he'd only given up 9 earned runs at home all year in 6 starts. He gives up 8 today in 4 1/3 innings. Dan Jennings with a good effort out of the bullpen. Inning and 2/3, no runs. He faced 1 over the minimum. Gave up just the 1 hit. And now Barnes hoping to do the same. Barnes gets a strike on Bader to make it 1-2.
And Barnes has been real good since his call up. Last pitched on Friday against the Cardinals. A 3-up, 3-down inning. A couple of strikeouts. Cutter's working again.
There's a strike called inside corner with a fastball at 98.
Another caught looking strike 3.
That has been the theme of this series for the Cardinals.
Boy, when it's close, take it. It might not be called. 98 miles an hour down and in. Bader watches it, probably looking cutter.
So Barnes with 1 out. Here is Colton Wong. Brewers pitching today with 8 strikeouts. And I think all but one of them have been, no, 2 of them have been swinging strike 3s. 6 of the 8 are backwards Ks.
Yeah.
But St. Louis leads at 8-2. They've gotten their big hits when it's mattered. And that 5-run 4th inning is what set him up today.
All the runs scoring with 2 outs.
One ball, 1 strike on Wong. Up and in. 2-1. Now the Brewers will enjoy a day off tomorrow, and then they will begin a very difficult stretch till the All-Star break. 21 games in 20 days. Brewers' next homestand will be against the Twins and the Braves. After the off day tomorrow, the Royals are coming here, and then 4 in Cincinnati, right back home against the Twins and the Braves.
Yeah.
There's a strike. 3-2 the count.
And finally making up for all those 3 city road trips. Had a 3-game road trip in Pittsburgh, and now after this homestand, only 4 in Cincinnati and right back home. It all equals out.
And there's a 1-out walk. Well, Tuesday will be Freddie Peralta's day to pitch. He was supposed to pitch on Thursday, but the rain out Wednesday night bumped him back to Tuesday. Peralta will be making his Miller Park debut on Tuesday. Miller Lite, what's on tap? 6:30 airtime right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Jacob Junis and Freddie Peralta. Peralta was excellent.
Yes, he was.
In his start in Pittsburgh.
Kansas City has been really scuffling this year. 23 wins on the season.
Kansas City has their hands full today with the Astros. Astros lead that game 9-1. Astros are burning hot right now. They'd won 12 in a row. Houston stretched out a 3.5 game lead in that division over the Mariners. Kansas City will be in on Tuesday and Wednesday, just a 2-game interleague series. A swing and a miss by Jerko to make it 0-2. Cardinals have a runner at first, and Jerko lays off. Such a big break for such a high velocity pitch.
Right.
91 miles an hour, and it's got a ton of break on it.
Spin rate pretty good, right?
Man,
that's how you do it.
Incredible how much you can get that to move. Barnes was drafted as a raw talent, big arm. He was a football player in high school out of Florida, and command problems throughout his early minor league days. So it took him a little while to get it corralled to the point where he was called to the big leagues. He was 26 when he made his big league debut. Jacob Barnes, now in his 3rd year with the Brewers. Shook to the slider. 2-2 the count. And Jerko pops it foul out of play. Big day tomorrow on your off day, partner. You're gonna get out on the river again with your canoe and your broken paddle.
Actually, it's Kate's birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday,
so
Kate.
we have big plans. We're going to go out on the river, hang out.
Big celebration.
Got some friends going to join us. I knew you'd be busy, but
I didn't get that invite. Sad. 2-2 to Jerko. He fouls another one off.
You are welcome to our beer tasting tonight over at the Miller Brewing Company. I know you got that invite.
Tell me a little bit more about it, Rock.
No, we're good. Everybody knows.
You and Matt LePay?
The names have been determined.
Oh,
we
really?
talked about that. Ours is called Matty.
I thought it was called Mic Drop.
It's Mic Drop. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. Me and Matt. Ours is called Mic Drop.
But you said ours is called Matty something, and then Jerko flies to right.
And then High Heat for Hader and Williams.
Okay.
So over at the Miller Brewing Company tonight, you are invited.
Yes.
I know you got that invite.
Yep. Yes, I did.
Not open to the public. We get to taste test both of the beers.
Will there be any kind of winner involved or anything like that? Or
There's no winner.
No,
we're all winners.
Everybody's a winner.
We're all winners.
Here's your ribbon.
That's the way things are these days. Everybody wins.
You are a winner, Rock. It's 4 competitive guys, though. There's got to be probably some kind of
I think we got a little
side
bet.
competition,
yeah, side
right?
bet.
Are you going to be able to bring that out? It's a wild pitch by Barnes, allows Wong to second. Now, are these 2 brews that you did? You and Matt LePay did a beer, and then Taylor Williams and Josh Hader created a beer. What's different about your beer than their beer?
Ours is a golden lager, which is a little bit more flavorful. Theirs is a Pilsner. And apparently, the word over at the Miller Brewing Company is, when you have a beer that you can drink a lot of, you don't say that. You say it's more sessionable. I learned that over there. Yeah.
That's a good word for you to implement in your repertoire.
Right.
Because it just sounds a little classier than what you normally say is, I'm going to drink a lot of beer.
I'm going to pound some beer. It's a very sessionable beer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sessionable. So a Pilsner is more sessionable? Is that what you're saying?
Typically.
Okay. Well, that'll be a good report on Tuesday to hear how that came out.
Well, it's going to be up to the fans, though. A special ticket package on July 20th.
Wait, I thought you said there was no competition.
I know. You don't get anything for it.
Oh,
you don't
I
win
see.
anything.
There is an actual competition for it.
Competition amongst the fans.
Oh,
They're going to decide which is the better of the 2 beers.
Well, I was thinking that seems like a horrible waste of everybody's time if there's not going to be a competition for it. To making your beer.
To brew beer is a horrible waste of time.
It seems like so many others have figured it out.
It's kind of nice, It's kind of cool to be able to put together your own formula. It was kind of fun.
Are they going to put your face on the label?
No. You can't. It won't be for sale, other than here at the ballpark.
Yeah, that eliminates all the potential lawsuits.
Right. So whatever left over from the ballpark goes to my garage.
Don't try to sue them. They're giving it away. You didn't have to drink it. We didn't make you drink it.
No, actually, on July 20th, you buy a special ticket package. You get a mug. It's going to have both the logos on it. They have not been announced yet. They're pretty cool, both of them. And you get to taste both beers.
All right.
And you get to vote. Those that buy the special ticket package to determine the winner. And again, just for bragging rights.
You have such an advantage over Hader and Williams, though, because of your enormous platform on Fox Sports Wisconsin, as Carpenter draws the walk. 2 walks in the inning for Barnes.
Just to let you know, I've tasted both of them. They're both really good.
Okay. Which one would you say is more sessionable?
I'd prefer to keep that to myself at this point.
I don't blame you.
I don't want to influence the outcome at this point.
Yeah, like you haven't been already.
All right. They're both good. They are. They're both really good.
Greg Garcia at the plate. Barnes trying to get the Brewers back to the dugout here in the 7th inning.
But anyway, look forward to seeing you over at the Miller Brewing Company this afternoon.
Yeah,
I got the game.
I did get the invitation. Yep. Feels like a guy who didn't get put on the roster, but they invite him to the game anyway. But you can come to the game.
You can sit and watch.
How'd you like to come sit and watch?
Yeah, you were on the original roster, but
that's what I heard.
You had you know, other obligations.
As Pete Vukovich would say, I think you guys knew my schedule. Here's Barnes' 0-2 pitch, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Say hello to our buddy Matt LePay. I'm sure he's dialed in today. He's out there on the lake.
No, he's on his way down to the tasting today. Yep.
One and 2 the count. Barnes with a strikeout in this inning. Cardinals threatening again with 2 on. And a shot right to Sogard. Flips it to VR for the out to end the inning. And that'll take us to the 7th inning stretch. We turn it over to Rob Edwards, public address announcer here at Miller Park. Their presentation of God Bless America.
From the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the lights from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
in FS1. Full slate of matches tomorrow. It all kicks off at 8 a.m. Central with Uruguay taking on Russia. And then later, Ronaldo and Portugal face Iran. Catch the World Cup on Fox and FS1. Stream it all live on the Fox Sports app. Greg Holland, who was hired to be the closer of the Cardinals, has had a monumental struggle this season, has had some injuries as well, and he is going to pitch here in an 8-2 game. Cardinals trying to get him right once again.
Yeah, think about all the money the Cardinals have spent over the last couple of years and getting basically no production. You got Dexter Fowler, you got Holland, who signed a big contract, and he's now in an 8-2 game.
Sogard lines one to right field. Fowler is there to make the catch. Out number one here in the 7th inning. Sogard's 0 for 2. Eric Thames back to the top of the order. $39,710 the official attendance today. Good crowds all week. Royals coming in here on Tuesday.
Yep, on double bobblehead day, gauntlet bobblehead day here at the ballpark. The Braun Garcia gauntlet bobblehead. Did you get yours?
I got one, and then I gave it away. Actually, I gave yours away. I have one still. So a little flare in the right field. That's going to fall for Thames. He's got his first hit of the day. A base hit with one out in the 7th.
That fights this one off, up and in. You can see him really trying to pull the hands in, opening up those hips to get the barrel on it. Got enough of it and dumped it into right field.
Christian Yelich now.
Still plenty of time here. It's only bottom of 7. Plenty of time to get something going.
Yelich homered in the 1st, went down that home run gauntlet. No balls and 2 strikes. Cardinals leading 8-2. A long pause by Holland and a swing and a miss. Holland has been one of the dominant closers going here. The Rockies made a big play for him last year to strengthen their bullpen, and he lived up to that billing a season ago. He led the National League in saves last year with 41. He was an all-star last season. He had missed all of the 2016 season after Tommy John surgery. He was great with the Royals during their run. He was twice an all-star in Kansas City. And the Rockies took a flyer on him in his first year back from Tommy John, and he ends up having a great year for Colorado, but it's been the 2nd year that has been the trouble year for him. Usually it's in reverse. The first year you come back is the year you don't have any command, but that was not the case with Holland last season. Cardinals have Luke Gregerson on the disabled list right now as well. Bud Norris has been closing games. Braun bounces out to second base, and that will retire the side. To the 8th we go. It's 8-2 St. Louis.
Afternoon, the Royals visiting the Astros, and infielder Yuli Gurriel is having quite a day at the plate. He has 3 hits this afternoon, and all of his 4 RBIs coming on one swing. A grand slam for him in the second off of Jason Hamill that would give the Astros an 8-0 lead, and Houston currently leads that game 10-2 in the 8th. And after the off day, the Brewers will face the Royals in a 2-game series. Hopefully Lorenzo Cain back in the lineup for that one as well. Taylor Williams taking over now for the Brewers, and BA and Rock, an update for you on Matt Albers, who has been on the disabled list with a right shoulder injury, and they're hopeful that after the off day he'll start playing catch this week. He'll begin his throwing program, but Craig Counsell is saying it is likely that they won't see Albers back with the team until after the All-Star break. So just an update for you on one of the Brewers relievers.
All right, Sophia, thank you. And that does bear repeating that the Brewers have had their fair share of injuries all year, and yet they keep churning along here in first place in the division. So there are a lot of teams that have dealt with injuries, and that is a big reason why they are having down seasons. But we don't really talk about that much because Craig Counsell's ball club has covered. I mean, think about Jimmy Nelson. That was your ace last year, right? He's been out all year. Chase Anderson spent some time on the DL. Yelich a little time. Braun's been in and out.
Zach Davies has been out for an extended period of time.
Williams wrestled with that one more than he needed to. A little panic set in, but Martinez not running, and an easy out at first base.
He just didn't even bother running, just kind of jogging down to first base, making that play a lot easier for Williams as he backs up on it. A little panic sets in, but able to make the play easily because Martinez just decided not to run.
It's like trying to corral one of those Super Bowls, you know, bouncing all over the place. He got his man, though. One away here in the 8th. I'll bring up Marcell Ozuna. He's been on base 3 times today. He's perfect at the plate with 2 hits, a walk, and a sac fly. Now, there are not a lot of teams that could cover your 3/5 of your starting rotation being on the disabled list for significant stretches. You know, Wade Miley was going to make this team as the 5th starter, it looked like. That was the other piece to that. Miley's been hurt all year. He is on the comeback trail as well.
Well, Brent Suter, Junior Guerra have filled in nicely, but the Brewers have really only needed 4 starters for an extended period of time with off days and, you know, the rain out.
VR will take care of Ozuna, who doesn't even bother to drop his bat.
I guess the Cardinals are figuring this game's over. Okay.
2 outs.
I would imagine Mike Matheny just loves to see that.
That's a bad look. especially for the Cardinals, who pride themselves on baseball etiquette.
Playing the game the right way.
Doesn't take much just to drop the bat and run, really.
No.
2 gone, and here is Molina. I beg your pardon, Francisco Pena at the plate in Molina's spot. Now, one thing it means for the Brewers, though, as they carry on this season, you know, they lost their closer Knebel as well for a month. That's a big loss. You lose 3 starters and your closer. And your starting first baseman, Eric Thames, missed 41 games. I mean, the list is pretty significant of talent that was lost. However, pieces are starting to come back now. And especially as you start looking to Miley and Davies and potentially Jimmy Nelson down the road, going to have some serious talent in which to dig in on during a pennant race, we hope. 3 up, 3 down inning for Taylor Williams. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 8-2 St. Louis.
Lead. The Brewers getting late for Milwaukee to try to win this series, and it's been tough to get runners on base, get base hits against St. Louis pitching today.
It is, and you look at that first inning, we're able to get 4 hits, only 2 hits since, and Cardinals, luckily with 2 outs in that 4th inning, we're able to put 5 across. Really the difference in the ball game.
That was the killer for sure in this one. Still some time though, but coming up after the ball game, we'll be talking about this one. We'll hear from Craig Counsell. So far, Christian Yelich has gone yard for Milwaukee. We'll get a health update on Travis Shaw. Still haven't heard anything about his 3rd inning exit just yet. All coming up. Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin post-game show. BA.
All right, thanks, Craig. Here is Brett Cecil next out of the St. Louis bullpen. Holland gave him a scoreless inning. Cecil gets the 8th. He'll have Brad Miller leading off in that spot that was originally occupied by Travis Shaw.
Cecil appeared in the first game of this series, a scoreless inning, walked a couple of batters. He was on a disabled list and was activated on May 12th. And he's only had 6 appearances since June 1st, so he hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities.
See Pena in the game catching. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Right there is Garcia. And there is out number 1.
And Mike Matheny emptying out his bench. He's taking out Carpenter, Molina. Brewers only down 6 runs. Interesting.
Those are big bats to have out of the lineup. But the Brewers haven't put up much of a threat
takes one inning.
Had a chance in the 6th inning, 2 on 2 out. Counsell took that shot. He brought Aguilar off the bench, and Jesus struck out. And only one base runner since. Cardinals scored 5 in the 4th inning. That was the big difference, and all of that came with 2 outs. Pop up, foul territory. Martinez is there to make the catch.
Nice play.
Out number 2.
Hey, voting for the 2018 All-Star Game is in full swing, and the Brewers are counting on you to stuff the ballot boxes. Go to brewers.com/vote and cast your ballot up to 5 times per day, 35 times total, to help send your hometown crew to Washington this July.
That's the latest release of the All-Star results from the fan voting. We'll have a new list tomorrow. Nick Markakis leading the outfielders. Freddie Freeman leading all players in the National League in voting. 2 Atlanta Braves. Ozzie Albies leading at second base. Braves fans are voting. They are enjoying this revival, the Atlanta Braves. Two outs for the switch hitter Jonathan Villar. Quickly 0-2 on Villar. Jonathan reached on an error his last time up. He's 1 out of 3. Did have a double in the 1st inning and a hustle double. Pulled one down the right field line as a left-handed hitter. It was all good to start for the Brewers today. They jumped out with 2 runs in the 1st, covered up a St. Louis run in the top of the 1st, and carried that 2-1 lead until the 4th inning. And then the Cardinals put a 5 spot on the board against Jolie Chassin. Added 2 more in the 5th.
Yeah, 5 runs in that 4th inning, all coming with 2 outs. That's a killer. Base hit by Carpenter, 3-run home run by Martinez. And the Brewers really haven't been able to do much offensively since the 1st.
Cecil deals a 2-2 and just missed. 3-2 the count. Got him. A strikeout to end it. Been that kind of day for the Brewers since the 4th inning. 8-2 Cardinals lead it. We go to the 9th. Park. Kids are dancing around. And how about we set the light on Freddie Peralta, the 22-year-old, just turned 22. He'll make his Miller Park debut on Tuesday night against the Royals, and he was terrific against the Pirates. 7 punch-outs, no walks in 6 innings on Tuesday in a Brewer win on the road.
Yeah, somewhat like his first appearance, with the Brewers in Colorado. I mean, the big strikeout totals, but it's always important for Freddie Peralta to be able to throw strikes. He's always had walk issues, and he did not against the Pirates. We'll see how he comes out on Tuesday. Corey Knebel, his 19th appearance, a 379 earned run, or 378 earned run average. And that earned run average continues to go down. 7 for 9 in save opportunities. Just a tune-up to get him some work here today.
Now the Brewers have found that Knebel is a pitcher who needs regular work. Try not to go 2 days off for Knebel. Sometimes you can't help that just based on the way the games go, but with a team off day tomorrow, this is the day for Knebel to pitch. He knew he was going to be in regardless. Was hoping he'd be trying to nail down a save.
Got a win on Friday.
Yeah, he entered a game in a 1-1 game. The Aguilar walk-off was in the bottom of that 9th inning. And we do give Aguilar, rightly so, a lot of credit. He has had a big part in that win, but the Brewer bullpen that game was the reason that the stage was set as it was at 1-1 between Hader and Jeffers. Knebel retired 12 in a row. Barnes was involved in that game as well. 12 up and 12 down to finish.
Yeah, good work by Junior Guerra. 5 innings. Yeah, good pitching. That's how you win 2-1 games, right?
Knebel with a strikeout for out number 1. A loss today for the Brewers drops them under 500, believe it or not, against the division. They would go to 17 and 18 against the Central. A lot of that coming against the Cubs. The Brewers are 3 and 8 against Chicago, but did win the last series against the Cubs. And the Brewers, even with a loss today, still have an advantage on the Cardinals in the season series. They would go to 7 and 6. A lot of that might not matter, but a lot could matter if the division ends up in a tie-breaking scenario. (2-0) to Harrison Bader, who has 2 hits today. He has scored twice.
Couple of fastballs inside. Bader, he kind of gave a second look to Knebel after the second one, and then takes a fastball right down the pike.
Knebel just rearing back and throwing as hard as he can. All-star closer last year, Corey Knebel. He's pitched well. He's had his moments. A lot of his runs and a good chunk of that ERA has come in games when it hasn't been a save situation. That's a good hook. Did he go? No, he didn't. 3-2.
Completely fooled. It was pretty close to being a called strike as well. Could have called it.
3-2 pitch. Bader draws the walk with 1 away. And here comes Colton Wong. Most of the 39,700 have headed for the exits, or maybe to resume the tailgating, which was fantastic earlier today. Huge crowds out in the parking lot.
Perfect day for it. Wow. Back-to-back days, perfect weather here in Milwaukee.
Nothing quite like the smell of Miller Park when you arrive at the ballpark, from all the grills out there. Nobody tailgates, especially in Major League Baseball. Like Brewers fans here, it is quite the scene. I've got some family in town. They have not been to Miller Park. They walked around today and said, it reminds me of a college football Saturday.
Yeah.
But that's every day. And especially on the weekends.
Are they out there grilling? You going to be joining them?
They might be right now. I think they left as well.
Maybe you walk around and just crash a tailgate party.
Now that's where we should do a game.
I mean, that pre-game show?
No, we'll just call it off the monitor. You know, we'll be all right. It's television. People can see.
You going to be grilling for them tonight?
Yeah. Getting the grill out. Dusting it off.
Yeah. Have you had it?
Oh, sure.
Have you used it yet?
Big time.
Out of the box?
Mm-hmm. No, but I did order the new grill tops as Wong strikes out. Yeah, the old grill tops hadn't been touched in a few years, so I went on the old Weber website and ordered them up.
They make it?
I got the porcelain and the stainless steel, and so you have options.
Nice.
Yeah, I feel like I'm really hitting my groove now in the grill game.
Certain foods are better for porcelain. And
yeah, exactly, Rock. You know, because you're the grill expert.
Yeah, the heat, you know, spreading the heat around, distribute the heat equally.
I've come a long way from walking across the street to borrow my neighbor's grill when I first moved here.
That was embarrassing for you.
That was
wasn't
more of a moving situation. You know, there's only so much we could pack up moving. Brewers only gave so much of a budget to move here from Texas, you know. We bought a lot of big coats.
You needed them, right?
That's not something we owned before we got here.
Snow throwers, shovels.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir. 0-2 pitch. Jerko strikes out. Knebel with 3 Ks and a walk, and the inning is over. Bottom of the ninth coming. The Brewers are down 6. And the Brewers' last call here. Jumped out early on St. Louis, led it 2-1. And then a 5-run 4th inning for St. Louis. John Brebbia is going to pitch this 9th inning for the Cardinals.
Well, his numbers have been pretty good. 22nd appearance, a 308 earned run average. Brebbia last pitched against the Phillies. That was back in the 19th, the scoreless inning. He's allowed just one run over his last 11 appearances. That dates back to the end of May. He's been pretty good.
Eric Kratz will lead off for the Brewers. Kratz had a base hit his last time up, snapped an 0 for 15. And gave the Brewers a shot at 2 on with 2 out. That's when Counsell sent up Jesus Aguilar to try to give him one swing and get him back in the game. Brewers won the first 2. Cardinals threatening to win the last 2 and split this series. Cardinals are headed home next. They'll have the Indians for 3. They've got a 6-game, 7-day homestand with the Indians and the Braves. It's a really tough stretch for Mike Matheny and company. They're playing a lot of contending teams. Started with the Cubs in mid-June, the Phillies, the Brewers here, Indians, Braves. They've got the Diamondbacks after that on the road. So yeah, this is a window where the Cardinals know they're going to have to make a little noise or else they might be in sell mode leading up to the trade deadline.
Which is not something they're accustomed to.
Manny Pena will pinch hit, pitcher spot. Brewers won't see the Cardinals again until August 17th. Nearly 2 months. That's a series in St. Louis. The Brewers will have 2 more series against the Cardinals. Both of them are in St. Louis. That one in August and then the other one in September.
And it's part of that Cardinals series in August, part of the another 3-city road trip for the Brewers. Atlanta, Chicago, St. Louis in August.
And another strikeout. 2 gone here in the 9th. Here comes Eric Sogard. Brewers and the Royals Tuesday and Wednesday, and then off to Cincinnati. Freddie Peralta and Brent Suter will get the starts against Kansas City. In interleague play this year, the Brewers are 6-6. Just dropped their last 2 interleague games in Cleveland. They'll try to get back to winning ways against the AL. Brewers are going to finish another week in first place. Down to their last strike here. Brebbia against Sogard. And he fights it all foul. Well, it's been a good weekend on a lot of fronts, especially honoring our late pal Dave Nelson. Davey passed away in April, and renaming Nellie's Corner down there in right field. Had a terrific ceremony yesterday. Craig and Augie will have Brewers Live from that corner as soon as we're done here. They are standing by.
There they are. Craig with the hands up. There's Augie. You ever down in the corner down there? I don't think you have you?
All goes back to that
all
invitation.
These years. All these years.
I'm not one to invite myself.
Yep. See, they're calling you
like
down.
That.
They could use you today.
That feels false. That doesn't feel authentic to me.
No?
Yeah, it's too late now.
They're just being nice.
No, too late now. I'm just going to head on home. No, it doesn't feel real.
They're begging you.
Now, see, now they're patronizing me. It's like that beer contest.
I just don't think you want to be a part of it. That's all.
Oh,
it's okay.
If the furthest from the truth. Sogard hits it high in the air. This should do it. And the Cardinals win the last 2 games of this series, earn the split. But the Brewers will start another week in first place, a 2-game lead over the Cubs as they enjoy an off day tomorrow and then get ready for the Kansas City Royals. That'll do it for us. 8-2 the final. Brewers Live coming your way in Nelly's Corner. Let's give it to Craig Cashon.
All right, B.A., we'd still welcome you, my friend. We'd still welcome you. All right, 8-2 the final. The Cardinals top the Brewers here today. We'll hear from Craig Counsell, get a health update on Travis Shaw as well. Stay with us. Brewers Live postgame is on the way.